Red, yeah, there's a cold red, you got blue. Red it is. You want the receipt? You have choice to do red. Okay, that's right. Very good. That was 2 minutes.
And welcome back to men's singles quarterfinal action. My name is Sean O'Neill. Seated next to me is Corey Eider. Corey, this is going to be a very interesting matchup of two surprise players that we probably didn't really anticipate coming into this tournament making the quarterfinals. Why don't you talk a little bit about the path that Gal Aletti has taken to get to the quarterfinals?
Gal Alettti's taken out some strong players along the way, and they've been on this table. The players have been joking all week, Sean, that this is graveyard table, court one. This is where I died, this is where Timothy Wong died, and this is where Canuck or not, sorry, not Kanak, but Kunal Chaudhary died. So Gal's taking us down. The conditions here favor kind of a slower blocking game, and that's where he's really excelled.
So here we are, best of 7. Zaman Moola on the far side in the green, and Gail Algetti on the near side, who's really been the surprise giant killer so far while he's been battling in the junior trials on the other courts.
Yeah, and it's funny, from the first point, if Zaman thinks he's going to be able to step back and rip, that ball is not coming out. That time it came out a little bit, but even when you serve long, when the player receives it, the ball doesn't come out like it normally would come out. Like, the tables are a little bit grippy, so the ball just kind of loses some of its steam.
Really takes away the size differential, allowing Gel to, I mean, Corey, of all the junior players I've seen, and we have such a great group of juniors, Gal's hands really seem to be almost a level above. Doesn't have the biggest strokes, doesn't have the biggest weight, but when he puts his paddle on the ball, he can really redirect it well. And when he played Timothy Wong in the match, he basically won the backhand-to-backhand exchanges all day long.
Yeah, he really can't attack off either side. He doesn't serve well, he doesn't receive well, but the ball goes off his paddle and onto table. And here in Vegas on table 1, that's kind of all you need.
Right, and I'm wondering with Moola if he's realizing that he's not going to fall prey to some of the same issues that the other players have. And it seems like he's really pulling out all the stops and just going heavy, heavy, heavy deep, trying to get something to sit up there instead of letting Gail's ball just really die. Moola's been very active in the Bay Area, playing most of the tournaments in the ICC club as well as the neighboring clubs in Milpitas. Of course, whoa, that's a nice forehand flip there. The Algetti family plays very often out of the Westchester Table Tennis Club, run by Will Shorts. Of course, having 3 brothers is quite a nice advantage for practice partners. There's that control block, just keeping it to the backhand, and once again, forcing Moola to go for a big shot from a difficult location. That time Moola able to get out to the middle and forehand side of Algetti. No, Corey, right now it just looks like Moola is able to get Algetti a lot more out to the forehand side and leave that backhand. Just see the, I'm not going to say funny bounces, but it was kind of like a slow spin that
it bounces high, Sean.
Didn't
the
bounce,
bounces.
Yeah, it's almost like it's bouncing
Yeah.
up and out, or it's not coming forward.
Yeah. For you guys watching, you're going to see some shots that are missed that are almost never missed by good players, and you're going to wonder why. And I'm telling you, it's a war zone out there. It's almost like you're stepping on all these landmines. You know, the ball can bounce literally in any direction. It's not easy to judge the bounce. The ball doesn't come out like you're supposed to. So having like this one advantage Moola has is Moola has real good footwork. And when the ball's bouncing funny, having really good feet that can kind of keep you in the right position and having good balance is a huge advantage here in Vegas.
I mean, Moola has been playing well. He took out Yahao Zhang in a very early round, as well as beating Michael Tran, who had upset Gao Jun of New York. So Mola's had to fight his way to get here. And I think, Corey, the point you made with having that ability to make those small adjustments on the forehand has really, really helped put him in a position to get that big forehand in. And there we have it, first game to Zaman Moola over Gael Algetti. 11-8, this is a best of 7 men's singles quarterfinals. And Corey, another interesting fact here in the men's singles draw is brother Sharon has also reached the quarterfinals with a very strong set of matches, beating former world team member Han Shao and Chance Friend, who will be then lined up to play against Alan Wong, who pulled off another upset. This has just been a tournament of upsets so far.
Yeah, it's been insane to say the least. I mean, if you, the odds in Vegas that the quarterfinals would be set up as they are, I don't even think they would have odds that would match the improbability.
Top 4 seeds went out quite early.
First round. And the kids have a huge advantage of, since the conditions, Sean, here are so weird, the kids have such an advantage. On Monday, they played all the junior events, so they played like 10 matches. And the adults, they are kind of going in cold. So in practice, the conditions don't seem as weird as when the matches are, because once ever you get the nerves start flowing a little bit, that's when it gets more. And the juniors play more of a blocking kind of style. And so their style, when the adults are practicing with each other, they're both kind of hitting the ball hard. But once you start hitting the ball soft, that's when you actually score more points. So it's really weird, but
it's almost like when you see a top woman player jump into a men's event, it really changes the rhythm and timing for the male player, because they're not seeing that same pace.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So it's almost like, so the woman player could win that one particular match because the woman practices with men, but the top men don't actually practice with women. But then if they played like 10 more times, the woman's going to lose all 10.
Right. So once again, Moola getting a good start here in game 2. Really able to kind of take the spins into a little bit of an overdrive and put heavy spin on the ball. But you can just see Algetti moving the ball around, not taking any big swings, but earning points more from placement and control. Corey, this is a little reminiscent, I guess it could show my age, of the Jimmy Butlers and the Eric Bogans, who really made bold statements when they made the finals as 15-year-olds. You've got Algetti here, who's one of our top cadet players, and look at these blocks here. He's covering the whole table with his backhand, but Moola able to find the weaker forehand. I mean, twin brother Sharon will also be in the quarterfinals, which I think the matchup with Alan Wong, who took out Canuck Jha, I think that's just going to be a tremendous match coming up, with power and finesse against a lot of raw, just fluid motion from Alan Wong. Alan played so well in that Canuck Jha match. Again, just well-placed balls by the young.
And Sean, you could even see there, Zaman's not that far off the table, and he's pitting that ball from below his knees. the ball just doesn't go anywhere. That time he went into it. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great loop to the elbow. Aletti got it back, but Moola continued to stay close. And I think, Corey, in that earlier doubles match that we saw when Seemiller was backing up a little bit, as you said, that ball doesn't come out. You're going to be lifting a ball that's dropping on you. You got to be close to the table. You can hear the intensity of Moola. When you are playing a junior, you do not want to let the crowd get into it and start supporting the youngster. Oh, mental error there.
Yeah, and the serve troubles continue. We saw people missing serves all day yesterday, and it is...
So he was saying, the umpire
said he was
over
cupping.
no, I think he said over the table. Cannot start your motion over the table.
Man, the umpires at this tournament have been a story in and of itself.
No, I think, Corey, to that topic, right now there has been such talk and discussion about the legality of serves from various positions in the game.
But some, it's like, yeah.
Inconsistency is the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, Gal there just cupped the serve, dropped his hand below the table, and didn't throw it high enough, and didn't get called. Like, so, and he did the same thing, right? So, and we can see, you guys can see on the video, but it sometimes, I don't think anybody even has a problem with like a cupping or the ball over the table.
Once it goes up 6 inches or close to 6 inches.
Yeah, and as long as it's straight and they're not throwing it back and it's not hidden.
That was a nice backhand block on the opening. That's going to be just too difficult for Moola, Corey. When that ball's so low and he's trying to drive it, he might catch the net, but he's not going to be putting that ball on with that same spin or speed. And now Moola trying to get a 2-0 lead here in this best of 7 quarterfinal match. And he's successful with that forehand flip to now take a 2-0 lead over giant killer Gail Aletti. So, but yeah, I think, Corey, one of the challenges has been just the lack of consistency where the umpires feel they really need to take a strong stance. And it's like they make that one call, and then it feels like they've made their statement, but then the rest of the match doesn't have that same level of height or cupping or over the table. So
yeah, I mean, everything from the umpiring at this tournament. Luckily, well, this match, I'm not sure of the umpire who called that one. I'm not sure about, I don't know him, but Joe Lee's one of the best. He's the scorekeeper in this match, and he's one of the best. He probably is the best umpire in the country, in my opinion. But some of them, I mean, from the refereeing is very inconsistent.
And I think, Corey, the bottom line is the players just want consistency. They can adopt.
Yeah,
they just
without question.
They want to see the same strikes and balls being called.
Yeah, I want the rules that were in place yesterday to be in place today. The same ones. I don't want them to change.
So this is really a must-win game here for Aletti. Cannot afford to go down 0-3. You just see, Corey, with Aletti, every shot he gets closer to the end of the table. He's always moving forward. He's never backing up to try to force a forehand loop, but taking the ball quickly off the bounce. Really,
Yeah.
look at that, right off the bounce. Staying up, staying up. Just constant pressure. And with a very solid start here in game 3 to go up 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1.
Hey, oh, go, come on.
Aletti very selective of when he goes for anything.
Yeah, it's almost like from back in your day, Sean, where they call it the pick hit.
Yeah, just when the opportunity presents itself, only then do you go for something big.
And I think that's why he stays at the table too, Sean. When you can only do a couple things, it makes your decision-making process a lot more simple.
Right. Again, look at that. Nice placing.
Hey, go, go.
2 huge points for Aletti right now with the serve. See if he can keep his lead. Oh, and he went for a deep serve. Moola able to keep that ball in play.
Hey, go, Joe. Hey, one. One, Joe.
And Corey Moola really looking confident with that opening loop, not really forcing it, but getting it in play, being ready for the next attack. That was the exact combination that Aletti used against Timothy Wong. Maybe defend one ball with his forehand, but then just try to get into the backhand-to-backhand exchange where the blocker here in Vegas, drier air, faster altitude. And of course, we are using new plastic balls. Aletti very, very wise to stay up at the table. Oh, beautiful forehand block down the line, and again, jamming it into the backhand side, but Moola catching the net on that last loop. And now Aletti getting a little offense going to tie this third game up at 8 apiece.
Joe, come on. Joe.
Moola with the big forehand. And here's a timeout by Gail's father. So, Team Aletti Definitely sensing the importance of this game point here in this best of 7 match, trailing 8-10. And Moola, very strong forehand flip to the open court, and now takes a very commanding 3-0 lead, winning 11-8, 11-9, 11-8 in quarterfinal action. So the winner of this match, Corey, will be facing the quarterfinal match of Victor Liu and Feng Yizheng, which, again, to everyone's surprise, coming into the quarterfinals and on, you've got more juniors than anyone would have anticipated.
Yeah, the juniors, Sean, and that goes back to what I was saying. They got so many matches in on Monday, the day before the preliminary round started. And I think that I think for the conditions being so different in Vegas, nobody plays in Vegas and nobody really practices in altitude. So the fact that you get here and get a bunch of matches in really bodes well for the juniors.
That was such a mistimed ball on the forehand there by Moola. Took a big swing and barely even got it to the net. Oh, that's a nice block with a lot more pace on the ball. Wow, what, and even Mola's giving a thumbs up on that last aggressive combo. That ball hit the net in the air. And once again, Aletti with a very good start at the beginning of the game, playing with a lot more offense and pressure, upping the risk level a little bit. And Moola finally gets on the board, 1-5, but he does have one more serve here, or two serves right here, and yeah, you can just see Moola mentioning to himself, you got to get up to the table and lift that ball because it'll just die. Oh, Moola just took that forehand. Literally downtown, just jumped on top of that. But I think those shots, Corey, a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And on that one, it's interesting that
It's the same serve.
so that's the second.
4 games now.
Right.
Same exact serve. And this is what I was talking about,
Right.
Sean, with the inconsistency, and you were mentioning it as well.
Right. That one was a warning because he said it wasn't a clear violation, where the other one was. I actually thought that toss on the previous serve was even 2 to 3 inches tops.
Yeah, the ball's barely even going up at all, and he drops his hand below the table before he serves, and he cups it. So it's 3 violations, actually. And
But you got to credit Moola right now. You're not seeing him
it's
go
a,
into
well, it's a little bit
tailspin.
easier to do that, Sean, too, when he has a 3-0 lead.
Right.
This serve should have been getting called for 4 games now. If you're going to call Mola's serve, you got to call that serve, because that forehand serve was fine, but all the backhand serves
Have been
are
the same height.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed any of the
These
tosses.
umpires, they act like players throw the ball at different heights. It's just not true. Like, people just kind of generally, they either don't toss the ball high enough or they do, and it's really similar all the time.
So now you're going to see, so Moola is asking for some clarification, and I think he's correct to say, my first toss, you nailed it, you said fault. But now on this one, you're giving him a warning. So
Yeah, no, it's bad. I don't have anything else to say, Sean,
right,
other than
and here's
it's just really poor umpiring.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Corey. Moola needs to have, and I think he does. He's not going to waste any extra time, because he's not going to win the battle of who's right on the.
And, well, that's part of the problem, Sean, is that these umpires, they have this control and they abuse the hell out of it. And as players, it gets really old, really fast. And I know when you played, there were like no rules at all with serving. I mean, you just did whatever you wanted.
It was a hidden serve.
Yeah. So at that point, you have nothing to really argue. Now, wait.
Now they're saying that.
Now he can't wear that shirt
Sure.
anymore.
Right.
Oh, this is just. This is amazing.
He's
yeah,
going to also
this
have
is,
to renumber it as well.
At
so.
least you guys at home get to see what the players have been dealing with as far as the umpiring in this tournament, because this has been going on for 4 days now, and it is clearly not improving. But I do believe that they do kind of need to be called out, because they have authority over the players, and the players have no answer. And so this is, I guess, my answer, is they need to have accountability.
Right.
And right now they really don't.
Well,
they can do whatever they want, and there's no repercussion.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that what the players want is consistency. If you're going to call everyone serve at
Exactly.
3 inches, call everyone serve. If you're going to let some of them go, then let all of them go.
Exactly.
Don't be making
And if you're gonna
you're not sure of what's the rule.
Yeah, and if you're going to take a point from Corey for serving illegally, then when Sean serves illegally, you take a point from Sean.
Right.
You don't give Corey a warning and Sean a point. You know, you have to be consistent, and it's just they've done a really poor job so far of that. And some of the funnier parts, I don't want to get into too much of a tangent on this because these guys are playing well. But the stuff that should be called sometimes isn't. And the stuff that doesn't even need to be called is called.
Yeah, when some players are getting the clear advantage because they've straddled the line versus a player who is getting called because
they drop their hand an inch below the table. Or they started over the table, like Moola, you know. There's no advantage. He's not going to serve from there. He's going to throw it up anyway.
Come on, Joe. Johnny, oh.
And of course, with men's singles here at the national championships, the winner of the singles event, both on the men's and women's side, will get to bypass the Greensboro U.S. Olympic tryouts and go directly to the North American Olympic tryouts in Toronto later on in the year. So all the players are looking to kind of get that wild card into the North Americans. And with the top 4 seeds out, makes it that much more valuable. Nice opening and closing loop by Algetti. He has been quite vocal on every single point.
Yeah, I think he's at like 6 chos per point. And it does get kind of repetitious. It's not even like, it's one thing to give yourself a little pump up, and it's another thing to give yourself like a 15-second chant.
Right, it's a running dialogue almost.
Yeah.
And right now, Moola is inching towards the finish line now with a 2-point lead here in game 5. And now you can see Corey, when Algetti has to force the forehand,
now the umpire dropped his clipboard, so the point that Moola just earned, this is an absolute mess. I mean, we are at a completely different level of mess here at the convention center. So Algetti's claiming the clipboard dropped, and I didn't even see when the clipboard dropped into points, so I don't know how much of a factor that played in. But this umpire needs to probably not come back to court 1. This is really bad, Sean. Even the crowd is kind of getting involved and saying it's ridiculous.
Okay, so Gal just said it distracted he, and so Moola said, fine, let's go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. All right, we're back.
And you can hear the crowd.
Now the crowd's really excited.
They've given the support to Moola in this match, feeling like he's
not gotten the breaks from the umpire, that's for sure.
How many times do you have to win a point?
Hey. Come on, come back. Come on.
I don't know if I've ever seen this many blunders in one match from an umpire. I feel almost bad for Joe Lee, the scorekeeper, because he is really a really good umpire. Joe Lee is, who's the scorekeeper here to your right.
And Moola has been able to just deal with the fast hands of Algetti and just keep that strong forehand pressure, and he is 2 points away from securing a spot in the final 4. And that's going to be tough. Off the table, lifting balls.
Give Moola a lot of credit. He's been really positive mentally, and his mental game clearly, Sean, is really strong. He's dealt with this stuff like a professional.
And he's just really wanted some clear answers. I mean, the questions he's asked is more of a why.
Yeah.
Not that one person's right or wrong. It's just. But I think clearly, by anyone's level, Algetti had the shot he wanted. But Moola just kept one more ball in play, and now we're at match point. 10 serving 6 to get into the final 4. And Aletti with a nice opening loop. Oh, really nice forehand off the bounce block by Aletti. Now he's got the serve for a chance to tie this up. And he's 1 point away, and there's a timeout by Moola, wanting to get a chance to stop this 3-point streak.
To me, Sean, it just looked like Moola was starting to kind of rush things a little bit too much. He saw the finish line and he kind of wanted to I think he just wants to get out of this match and just like maybe go take a shower, you know? And he forgot to just play the last point. So it was a good timeout just to collect himself, slow down a little bit, and just try to win one more point.
And I think, Corey, if he tries to overdo it, that plays into Aleghetti's strength because he's playing off the power. If Moola can maybe pick and choose a little bit more, play some consistent shots, and then come in with the big forehand,
right,
he's going to have greater success because Aleghetti's just been demonstrating such a great table game.
Yeah. I wonder if Gal gives him that hook serve to the forehand, I wonder if Mola's going to go for the flip or if he's going to drop it.
Deep serve. And Aletti has him where he wants him, and he's deuced it up. What a comeback here in Game 5, trailing 10-6 and taking 4 points, 2 on Moola serve, then holding his own. Now this is where you start thinking about the past, and you've got to be focused on the next and this point right in front of you. And look at that. What a turning of the table here. Saving 4 match points. And Moola up for the challenge.
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd, Sean. They're really behind Moola.
Oh, they're loving the action here.
Yeah.
I mean, every point so tight. Neither player going for too much, but really working. There's a nice forehand loop. So Moola with match point number 5. Oh, that Moola really did not have an answer for that last block. And I can see, Corey, what a huge momentum shift it would be if somehow Aletti is able to just literally steal this game. Aleghetti's using as much energy in his post-point celebration as he is during the rally. You can still hear him screaming out.
Come on, one more.
Come on, one more.
Oh.
He is on fire. Aletti has lit up the arena here with an amazing comeback, saving 5 match points to extend this to a 6th game. Wow, that was just a clinic in exuberance and exhilaration after every point.
Is he going to be able to last it till the end of the match?
He's going to need some water to keep those vocal cords going because that was...
I know. It's funny because his voice is so loud, but he doesn't even swing. He just kind of blocks and screams.
And we've got the table mic'd so well you can just hear every ounce.
Yeah.
Probably coming out of his 85-pound frame. And he's still
He's
going
back at it.
It's just that extra repeat.
Charlie, oh!
Those are some very, very well-placed balls by Moola. Nice placement. And look at that great sportsmanship by Moola. Umpire did not see the edge.
Shocker.
Instantly pointed it out. I mean, that is the professionalism that Zemin Moola brings to the court. Just no hesitation. Oh, these are amazing points here. Look at this forehand-to-forehand exchange. And the crowd is just loving it.
Come on.
We are at standing room only right now, Sean. I know you guys maybe can't see the views of the sides of the courts, but all the seats on the sides of the courts are completely filled, and we have people even standing behind the seats watching the match.
Heavy topspin by Moola. You know, Corey, I think that's the one tactic that Moola can do that can really slow things down a little bit by playing the ball a little bit higher, but with heavy spin, so Aletti doesn't get a chance to time it off the bounce, but has to pay a little bit more attention to reading the spin. But now, Moola again extending. And at 9-3 right now, looking in so much more command than even he had last game. Now with the serve.
Oh.
And there's the match. Moola takes out giant killer Gal Aletti to reach the men's singles semifinals here in Las Vegas in a great 6-game match, having a chance to win it in game 5, but Aletti not willing to say die. And Corey, by anyone's estimation, just a great tournament for Aletti. I mean, the number of players he took out along the way before finally succumbing in the quarterfinals, gotta leave the tournament with his head really feeling good about himself.
Yeah, I agree. Part of it, I think, for him, after having such a good day yesterday, taking out players who are all probably 200 points above him, it's hard to then go back the next day and have a repeat performance. Mentally, it's just a tough ask. And he did. He went out there and had a good performance today. I mean, Zaman's a better player than Gal, and he showed it. And the scores also reflect it. But Gal certainly played way above his level all tournament long. And so when you do that, you should be pleased.
And now he'll get a chance to keep supporting and cheering for twin brother Sharon, who will be playing in an up-and-coming quarterfinals. So great action here from the Las Vegas Convention Center, where we have now gotten Moola to enter into the men's singles semifinal. We've got more action coming up. We're going to give the feature court a chance to reset, and we will be back for more continued live action at the 2015 U.S. National Championships.
White and blue, who's going to make decision? Who make the call? Blue, the winner make decision. You make decision. You serve, you the receiver. However, you still have the empty choice. Okay, 2 minutes warm up, please. You serve, right, Angela? Women's single. Quarterfinal, best of 7. First game to serve, 1, double. Love, 1. One, one.
All right, we are back with the women's singles quarterfinals. And Corey, you've had a chance to play against the player on the near side, Ying Lu. Why don't you talk about her game a little bit?
Ying Lu's a really, really good player. She plays on the East Coast, mostly out of Philadelphia. Her serves are just absolutely nasty. And her forehand is really, really heavy and really, really powerful. And generally these Chinese players are very, very strong against choppers. And I don't expect this to be a whole lot different. But Angela Guanshan, she's had a really good tournament. She is super solid from the back with her chop. Attack really isn't there yet, but her defense is very consistent.
4, 1.
Lu Ying is the top seed in this tournament, but this is her first U.S. championships. And Corey, we were talking earlier about the depth of the women's side with Jiaqi, Zhang with Lily, Zhang with Wang Chen from New York, who's coming back into the picture. I mean, this women's field, I think you might even want to bet on them based on the upsets that have occurred on the men's side, as all the women's seeds have continued to just hold their position true to form. Angela Guan was able to beat perennial U.S. junior team member Tina Lin in the last match. to get to the quarterfinals. And Lu Ying beat Diana Zhang.
6-3.
Lu Ying yet hasn't really found her range yet on the attack. So she's going to push a few balls and try to make Angela do some attacking. And that's the part of Angela's game that hasn't really come around quite yet, although she had a pick hit there. But her attack game isn't anywhere near her defense game yet.
Yeah,
But it's been steadily getting better, Sean, year after year. Every time I see her at the Nationals or U.S. Open, her attack seems to be getting a little bit better and better.
And I think, Corey, with Angela, her defense and her ability to retrieve balls is improving along with the attack. I know she surprised a lot of people by winning the Dayton Open over Samson Dabina, which you think like he would be able to really just go through her, but Angela was able to surprise a number of people. And I know, talking to both Angela and her mom, just a great story. They're really a super athlete, fighting hard, and the attitude of a champion of just always trying to improve. You just see her making nice strides at every tournament she participates in. Now, Corey, with the amount of spin that Ying Lu can put on her loop, and the fact that the tables are tending to hold the ball down a little bit, I think that's giving Angela just a little bit more stickiness on her ball that makes it that much tougher for Ying Lu. And now Angela Guan with a series of game points to take this initial game. It's a best of 7 match. So Corey, let's say you're in Ying Lu's corner. Are you nervous at this point? Are you just trying to get some rhythm?
If I'm Ying Lu, I'm not nervous at all. She's got so much game, and it's just a matter of her being able, can she find her range in time? I think that's her husband, Thomas Yu, coaching her. So we have kind of a family affair here. We have Thomas Yu, the husband of Ying Lu, coaching the wife, and Angela Guan's mother coaching Angela. So I think Ying Lu's going to play a little bit more push one, loop one. If I were to bet, that's what I would probably tell her to do, because she doesn't have to threat a huge attack from Angela. And even if she does, Ying Lu's blocking is unbelievable. So that's what I think will happen. And I think Angela will just keep being super solid from the back and keep the ball coming back all the time. That's kind of Angela's trademark, is she's going to out-defend you.
You know, what's funny, Corey, I would almost say that if Angela has some difficulty with the amount of spin, it could work to her advantage, because those balls that are slightly high here are the toughest to hit.
Yep.
It's when they're lower that you have some leverage to get under the ball.
Yep.
But when they pop up a little bit, you're kind of in between strokes. Unfortunately, with Ying Lu, she might actually set up that ball. And that ball's so heavy, Ling Yu opened up, and Angela just slid that ball right back. That's a nice forehand combination there by Ying Lu. And there's a fault on the service.
Do you know what the fault was for, Sean?
Not really sure. I just hope.
I know she got warned earlier, but I wasn't. It's hard to hear from here exactly what
the
the
reasoning
issue was.
is.
Yeah.
And clearly, as a player, you have the right and ability to ask for clarification so that you're not just guessing at it.
No, I think the umpire gave her clarification on the warning before. I'm just not sure what it was.
4-3.
And Ying Lu still trying to find her range a little bit. That's a beautiful set of blocks, and now little kind of soft forehand hit there. Angela really kind of taking pace off those attacks. And that's where you just see the heavy topspin by Ying Lu, just overpowering and again keeping the ball up a little bit.
I'm surprised Angela's dealt so well with the spin of Ying Lu so far, because it doesn't, when Ying Lu hits the ball, it doesn't seem like it's super heavy until it touches your racket, and then it's really heavy.
And Angela's footwork has just really improved, and to be able to deal with those loops deep into the corners and then get back quickly on the drop shots. You can just see Angela taking all these small little steps to really position herself to where she's never reaching or lunging for the ball, but playing in such a balanced fashion. Oh, that's a nice third ball attack there by Angela to even it up.
Ying Lu started to look like she's found her range a little bit. Starting to loop with a little bit more consistency this game.
I think, Corey, anytime you're on the center court, especially against a defensive player, when you have a lead, that loop is so much easier to deliver than as you're playing catch-up and you just don't want to rush.
No one seed has won a match yet on this table, Sean. This is like at Wimbledon they call, like, I think it's court 2, they call it graveyard court. And that's what court 1 has been so far here at the Nationals. It's been like the graveyard court where the favorite hasn't won yet.
Oh.
7-8.
A back edge to bring Angela within 1 point with the serve after winning the first game. Oh, that ball has so much spin. Angela really keeping the ball both low and deep. And a missed service by Ying Lu. And now a double game point off of the serve of Ying Lu. Now Angela with the serve and a chance to go up 2-0 in this first quarterfinal match on the women's side. Angela Guan takes game number 2, 11-8, and a great display of just consistency, well-placed balls, and really using Yinglu's heavy spin against her to almost disarm. I mean, Yinglu was up 8-6 that game, and then Angela just turned it on to run it out.
One thing too, Sean, from Angela's perspective, she's doing a great job of making her chops go really wide to Yuling's backhand side and wide to the forehand side, really kind of keeping Lu Ying off balance. So Yuling is still trying to find some answers for the steadiness of Angela Guan.
Game 3, Panty serve, love ball. Love 1.
Net ball to give Yinglu point number 1. You know, Corey, for some of the players that have watched the other web streams of USA table tennis sanctioned events, if you watch, you remember.
Oh, what an attack by Angela, Sean.
Nice, just jump right into that with the forehand loop.
Really keeping Yinglu on her toes. Earlier so far this match, Yinglu has been able to kind of push the ball to Angela with no repercussion.
Now
and there, Angela stepped in and hit a really nice forehand wide to the Yinglu forehand.
So as I was going to mention, Corey, as I remember watching from the North American Team Championships, and we saw Li Qi play that match against Timothy Wong recently, and how a looper and chopper, sometimes the looper can have to deal with their own spin, and Angela's done such a great job here of just returning these super heavy loops. I would anticipate Yinglu, with her great experience, won't fall prey to trying to loop a ball that has too much spin on it, but will just take the pace off of it with a nice soft push. But so far, Angela Guan has really had a response to everything that's come her way. Oh, that's a nice backhand attack. Oh, that's a bigger forehand by Yinglu.
The one thing I guess I'm surprised at so far from Yinglu is she's not really sending many loops to the Angela Guan forehand side. And I think that's one thing I would try to do a little bit more of. Get her out to the forehand side, then bring her back to the backhand side. But Angela doesn't really give her a lot of opportunities to do that either.
And I think with Angela playing against a lefty and playing a lot of those first balls a little bit wider to the forehand, where that down the line ball just doesn't create that same angle. It's like right now going, and that's a, boy, those chops are so heavy. There's out to the forehand and then just loading it up, but
1-4.
unable to keep that ball down. You can see on Yinglu's face, she's working for every single point.
Yinglu at the tournament so far has been splitting mother duty with player duty. Her daughter's been around, and she's so cute. I think it's so cool that a daughter gets to watch mom compete. I think that has a lot of value. It's kind of cool to be able to see your mom as mother, and you get to see your mother actually compete. I never got to see my parents compete in anything. I just think that would be kind of a cool experience.
Well, I think, Corey, it also goes very similar on the Team Guan side to be able to go back into the corner and have mom giving you advice as well. No one knows Angela's game better than her mom. And you always see her at the tournaments, always so positive and so appreciative of all the efforts from the coaches. And that's a nice forehand smash. Angela almost got it back. Angela's court demeanor just really furthers the point. I've never seen her get upset. I've never seen her.
She really does have such a chopper's demeanor, doesn't she? She's always so calm.
What a great return by... Oh, what a combination there by Angela Guan. Just to be able to pull that second forehand smash off. Great presence of mind to stay with the offense. I think, Corey, you were absolutely right earlier to say that that has been kind of the X factor, the surprise thing, that Angela's has continued to increase her retriever role, but to throw the combination of kind of that offensive and defensive player adds so much more of a dimension to the sport for her. You simply can't just loop and push. You've got to loop and pay attention because those attacks are coming. And there's the heavy spin. That was Yinglu's own spin that she was trying to lift, and it just got out of hand, and it looks like Yinglu wants to call a timeout and regroup, not wanting to allow another game to slip through her fingers.
Over in Yinglu's corner, Sean, the daughter and her husband are over there, so you can see her daughter's giving her mother a hug.
The mother's trying to console the daughter. I wonder if she's asking what they're having for lunch, maybe, or what's going on.
Resume to game 3. 6-5, no deserve.
Oh. That's not the way you want to come out of a timeout, with a serve that catches the edge of the table. Gosh, Corey, I'm surprised that Angela's not trying to hit some of these. And now that time,
7-6.
Yinglu just forcing it. A little bit too much, catching the net on that last drive. Looks like the ball might have gone between the barriers, but Angela.
7-6.
Score is 7-6. Angela Guan serving. Angela doing a great job of moving these balls around. That ball barely came back on her side of the net. If that had ticked the net and gone over, I'm sure it would have just stayed right there on the net.
Yep.
That is some amazing spin. You can even see Yinglu just shaking her head, wondering what exactly is happening with this ball. She had 2 or 3 loops where she had to loop it straight up just to deal with her own spin, and then just hope that it would pull itself down. Gotta think now would be such a great opportunity for Angela to try to get some offense going. Because right now,
that's like the first unforced error I've seen Angela make all match, Sean. She has not missed any easy shots whatsoever all match long.
But you know, Corey, that last miss, though she went off the side of the table, it just shows you the angles that she's forced to get to stop those balls from going down the center of the table, where Yinglu can really, really get it out to her forehand side. Oh, that was a kind of an ugly forehand there that really missed by quite a bit. So while Angela played very well the first half of that, the last few points were a little sloppy with trying to win the point versus work for the point.
Yeah, and it's such a kind of a small margin for error sometimes too with Angela's, because it's a really flat forehand. It's more of a smash than it is like a loop, a driving loop.
It almost seems like she wanted to go for the shot before the point even started, that I'm going to get my forehand in, and she really wasn't in position to make that last forehand and just really kind of reached for the ball. But Angela is now leading 2-1, best of 7 women's quarterfinals here in Las Vegas at the Convention Center. The winner of this match will go up against either Jennifer Wu or Lily Zhang. Second quarterfinals match.
Proceed in game 4. Lose serve. Time out. Double. That. Time not drop.
Looks like the T for the timeout. And that was just textbook loop against chop play. Yinglu served it right into Angela's elbow on the forehand side, and they just made a fading forehand loop wider on the next ball. Angela's done a great job of keeping those serve returns low, and once again serving to the elbow, waiting for a slight pop-up, then taking it really wide out to the forehand.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that placement and control by Yinglu.
Sean, this is what I was talking about earlier in the match. You can see there's more of a concerted effort from Yinglu to start attack on the Angela Guan forehand, staying away from those pips. Without getting too technical about spins, Angela appears to be chopping with a little bit of a side spin motion, and it gives the ball a corkscrew spin. So it's really heavy under, but you've really got to touch the kind of the bottom left part of the ball. And then when it stays low here in Vegas, it's a nightmare, and I think it's a smarter play to attack the forehand side, and you can see what she's doing. That corkscrew chop is really nasty to deal with, and that's why you see where Yinglu was making a lot of mistakes early in the match. She's not making those anymore.
And Angela's doing everything within her power to get that ball out wide to the forehand so that angle just doesn't materialize, but you can see now a 6-0 lead here in game 4. It appears that Yinglu has begun to find her range and finding that weak area on Angela Guan's forehand. That ball is just so spinny from Yinglu. For Angela to get it back, it's diving. So she's got to open up the face of her racket, but there's so much topspin, there's nothing to grab onto. So there's really no good contact point.
Love 7.
That's a nice combination there. Angela really working the point well. Not only able to keep those loops coming back low, but then to step in and do a block right off the bounce. Angela showing great maturity, just playing such a strong player. And then right now a 2-1 lead, but trailing big here in game 4.
One thing I've really enjoyed, Sean, when some of the past generation of professional Chinese players come back to play, their strokes are beautiful. I mean, they really are so fluid and almost like effortless. And they take effort, but it doesn't appear that it takes effort. They make it look like it's so easy, and it's just not.
And the other thing, Corey, is if anyone wants to see how to play a chopper, watch the women's game. The amount, look at that. What a solid forehand drive to take game number 4.
Yeah.
But as I was saying is that you watch the Chinese women, they'll set up the point. If they're unsure of the spin, they'll make a nice positioned push and then just restart it. Once again, they're never forcing the ball. They're getting a ball that pops up higher and higher to where they can either put a heavy topspin, which causes the chopper just not to be able to keep it down, or they can just drive that ball when the chopper puts something back without any backspin at all. So almost a little bit of a loop against chop clinic, or for the players that are playing against somebody with long pips. They'll play into the long pips. They love it because they know what spin they're putting on the ball, so they know what spin's coming back. They're not running away from it afraid of what could come at them because they know they can always read the spin correctly.
It appears that Yinglu has really found her range now, Sean, and we'll see if Angela's chops can still hold up against Yinglu's attacks.
If we see Angela's ball begin to pop, it's going to be so difficult. But if for some reason she can keep that ball, I would say within a top inch of the net, she can at least continue to give the spin back. But once it starts popping, Yinglu's had no problem driving that ball or putting Angela Guan out of position. See, that ball's up a little bit high. It's going to be very difficult to keep it low. You almost need to take that off the bounce if you're going to counterattack it. You can't let that ball bounce and start to dip on you. Nice redirection there. You should just see a perfect angle.
It's just beautiful technique. I mean, she gets herself in such a good position with her body, Yinglu, that she can go to either direction. And now that she found her range, she's comfortable taking the ball to both sides of the table.
I mean, she's driving that ball, realizing that no matter what Angela Guan does, she's got more spin on her loop. And it's just then a directional choice that she has to make. And again, her serves have always been right into Angela's forehand, right in that transition point there, to see if any balls pop up to give her a chance. Oh, there's a nice backhand bump. Angela flipping over to the long pips to deal with that underspin push and just hit right through it to turn the ball over. And again, a controlled push by Ying Lu, and then a big forehand. It's just too much topspin. And there's a timeout by Angela's mom.
And now that Ying Lu is attacking really wide to both sides, it's just tough for Angela to cover all that court space.
And as a lefty, you're not going to see Angela cover that forehand and be able to take it down the line, but Ying Lu can go in both directions every time. So the longer the point goes, the more real estate Angela's going to have to cover, while at the same time Ying Lu just showing great fluidity in that motion, going in both directions.
I think, Sean, if I'm Angela, I try to keep the ball to Ying Lu's wide forehand side as much as possible, because out of that backhand corner seems to be where she's more devastating.
Yeah, from the backhand step around, she's got both angles. She can take it down the line, she can go wide out.
And I played Ying Lu in a tournament at our club like 5 days ago. Her ball to her, the wide forehand is so wide, and when you touch it, it literally just explodes off your racket. It's super heavy, and it doesn't look like it. I'm telling you, it doesn't look like it's super heavy, but it is. It's really heavy. It's more heavy. It's heavier than any girl's forehand, or sorry, woman's forehand that I've felt on my racket for sure. And so being able, I can't even imagine being a defender trying to defend that. I just started ripping balls because I didn't want to deal with that. But trying to defend it, Angela's doing an unbelievable job so far. Way better than I could ever try to do, that's for sure.
The nice thing for Angela is that if she is in position and she can chop it, she can give a little bit of Ying Lu's medicine back to her. But the experience with Ying Lu is that she'll just take some pace off of it. There's that nice spin right there, controlled ball right into the elbow almost every attack.
Ball.
And then if it's up a little bit high, then she just turns her shoulders a little bit more and takes it wide out to the forehand, where there's just no angle to chop that ball back. Oh, that's smart serve there. Angela with the quick.
Huge point there too. Big forehand from Angela.
Just kept her right in the match.
Yeah, because there's a huge difference between 6-2 and 5-3, so that was a really big point.
You see Angela realizing she's got to put some offense into each point and not just become a punching bag. Ying Lu really able to dictate. Oh, beautiful shot by Angela. That's kind of the Juseyuk chopper looper, chopper attacker that we see on the men's side. First weak push, just jump on it. There's no hesitation in that forehand attack. But the problem that Angela had on that ball, she had no idea which way Ying Lu was. She could have gone down the line, she had enough space, or wide to the forehand. She was just caught there in the middle of the table, kind of in no man's land. And that's another nice forehand by Angela. Pretty clean. That ball is so loaded. Angela really doing a great job of mixing up the amount of spin on the ball. Of course, she needs some help from her partner, but that loop just too heavy to keep down.
Yeah, and it's fast, so Angela needs to back up to be able to deal with the speed of the ball, but the further she backs up, the wider the ball is. So you're kind of
and the
stuck.
more it's dumping, the more it's dropping at the same time.
Yeah.
So as it's dropping, there goes your angle. You almost have to go for the dead chop, because if you go underneath it, it's going to pop even higher. You're almost better fishing that ball than trying to cut it, because at least you can use some of the spin to keep it nice and low. Ooh, a lucky break there for Guan.
That time it looked like Ying Lu was a little bit undecisive on where she wanted to hit that shot.
Forced the forehand a little bit.
Let A7.
That was a really nice forehand chop out by Angela to Ying Lu's forehand. It just got her out of the backhand corner enough to where the chops could then start to float more into the forehand side so she can't get her hips and body into the ball. Because when she gets a full step around, that ball's gone. And Angela with another very well-placed serve. Oh, lucky break there. And now Angela Guan with 2 game points on some unforced errors by the seasoned Ying Lu. I mean, how big of an upset would this be, Corey?
Monumental. This would be as big of an upset as Aletti taking out Tim Wong.
Oh, and that forehand smash did not look firm.
You know what, Sean? Ying Lu actually looks a little bit tired.
She does. She really does. It wasn't a nervous smash. It almost was like, I need to take one more step, and I didn't get the foot in there.
Yep.
And just a reach for the ball, knowing it was the right shot, but not getting the execution down.
Ying Lu appeared so in control of the match in the 3rd game, in the 4th game, in the beginning of the 5th game, and now she finds herself really stuck behind a 3-2 deficit, and Angela Guan has the scoreboard on her side, which makes it even more difficult to play against a defender because there's a little bit more nerves. You don't have any more margin for error to miss because one more game and Angela Guan moves on.
And I think, Corey, you hit the nail on the head, is that the number of loops that Ying Lu has had to do of such a high quality, because Angela's done a great job of just keeping one more ball on the table. We're beginning to see what happens when the older players get extended. Look at that ball. That was a weak loop on that last one. It wasn't with the same amount of drive or lift.
It's almost like a boxer when you let the other guy kind of keep punching and punching, and pretty soon he's too tired to punch anymore.
Right. Again, Angela with such great footwork, really covering the court so well. Oh, beautiful fading forehand there. Chopper has just got to feel so good when they can win a point off of the serve. Almost feels like it's worth 2.
Sean, if I was in Ying Lu's corner, I would tell her to push and keep pushing and try to get it into expedite. If I was this tired, that might be the only option you have.
And knowing that she could maybe loop 3, 4, 5, or 6 and put Angela into a position where she'd have to attack to score the point.
Exactly. It puts a little bit of strain on the defender. because as a looper, you do have the ability to end the point, and the chopper is
Waiting for you to make the mistake, but again, that's a much higher quality loop there by Ying Lu on that last ball. Again, when you're playing a defensive player, the difference in how tight your arm is when you're leading compared to trailing.
Yep.
Major difference.
Huge difference.
And Angela is just trying to keep the pressure on. Oh, that's such beautiful tactical play. Just so patient, moving the ball around, waiting for the ball that's just high enough to where you can swing through it without any type of risk. Oh, that might be unforced error number 2 in this match.
Yeah.
For Angela, she's been so controlled on all of her returns.
Wow. Loop to the forehand, and off the table block that Ying Lu couldn't have expected it because Angela hasn't done it yet. And then just boom, off the bounce, right
down
back
line.
at you. Unbelievable technique and timing.
If Angela Corey is able to get to 7, 8, or 9 all, she can start to use the score as an extra friend. Also thinking that she might be a little bit more aggressive with her serves to force Ying Lu to make a bigger shot off of maybe a side top or a deep side spin serve. She doesn't want to get into a situation where she's forced to just come in and go out, because that spin has, look at that.
And that's
Another
just tired
service.
footwork.
Yeah, and it's that Ying Lu's hand moved about 3 inches on that last ball. There was no spring in that step or backswing. Not a bad idea to get it out to the forehand, but Angela's got to keep the ball that much lower.
Yeah, that wasn't, the tactic was not a problem there. The quality was.
Yeah,
It was
the
just too high.
execution, it just popped. But you've got to think that Ying Lu, after the amount of loops that she's done so far,
Man, Ying Lu, nobody happier in the arena than Ying Lu to get that 3-point. The amount of energy she's had to put forth in this match is really a lot.
She's literally been looping a chop of the same amount of spin as her loop. I mean, that's what Angela's been able to do, is just return it with the long pips. Oh, and that was a great return by both players.
The transition from Ying Lu is unbelievable. Like, Angela really hit a nice forehand there. Ying Lu blocks it, then hits another ball out wide, then takes a loop into the wide backhand. That is so hard to do.
It almost seems, Corey, that any time Angela goes for an offensive shot, that gives Ying Lu that much more to work with versus having to start from kind of ground zero and keep lifting. Oh, nice forehand attack.
There's
Very
a steal.
clean. Yeah, look at
That's
that.
6'9" to bring out that forehand. All those hours of practicing the forehand to believe in it on a stage like that is incredible. It's really come along. That forehand, that's what we were saying before the match started, is the one shot that's improved the most probably from Angela over the past year or so.
Oh, and that time Angela, and here we go. If
Scoreboard
Angela
pressure.
can somehow manage to keep that ball low and away from Yinglu's backhand step around. She might have something that she can attack. Oh, great recovery by Angela to get it back, but Yinglu clearly stepping around the backhand side.
Man, she was like, she could have held hands with the umpire as she was making that smash. She was so far to the wide backhand.
Those are the angles that both players are forced to hit. Yinglu jamming Angela wide out to the forehand, but Angela able to somehow get it back. Now gain point to force a final game 7 in this women's singles quarterfinal. And there you see the control to open. Oh,
wow.
What a shot! How she,
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable.
I mean, that first loop was perfectly placed into the elbow, and then she made that follow-up drive on the white line, inside out. So we are now going 7 games between the #1 seed, Yinglu, playing out of the Philadelphia area, and Angela Guan, California. This is amazing. That was a strong time called by Kenny Tran. So here we have it.
Proceeding to last possible game.
Last possible game.
Level.
Players will change at 5. We will see the classic youth versus experience. Angela Guan to serve.
Let. Level.
Oofda. That toss went a little bit to the side. We're seeing a little bit of nerves early, I think, for the 7th game.
Angela really trying to keep those angles at an extreme, pushing into the wide backhand, and then wide out to the forehand, but unable to find any table. Staying with the backhand serve. And you can see, Corey, right now, Yinglu is not going to just push and block. She's going to put it on her racket and put some pressure and power behind it.
Yep. It's just a matter of, can she get that left leg under the ball?
Yeah. At that point, it's a full body shot. And she'll be, look at that, here comes the power. But unable to convert on the high ball.
I think we got a sigh of relief from Angela after that high chop.
Dodged a huge bullet there.
And every point, she's 10% closer.
Just really keeping the ball low and wide.
And you were talking, Sean, between games about the amount of pressure in that arm in a tight game versus not. And Yinglu has missed 2 just top of the net and outs that is just probably the difference between a tight arm and a loose arm.
I think Angela is still focusing on trying to just extend every rally to the maximum possible. You can see Yinglu has to really lift up after she's looping. Angela able to keep that chop much lower. I mean, some of those chops look so heavy coming off of Yinglu's loop that Yinglu has to almost lift it up to get the pushback. And that was a monster forehand that Angela Guan made to go up 5-1. Players changing ends in this 7th and final game.
At some point here, Sean, Ying Lu's going to have to just relax, and when she gets the ball she likes, she's going to have to go after it and really take it to the wide forehand of Angela Guan, because this kind of pushing and soft looping isn't really cutting it.
Angela's just bringing everything back right now. Oh, again, the great inside-out forehand.
Great save there by Angela, saving the net court.
And it just makes one more shot.
And Sean, the one thing I'm confused about, though, with Ying Lu, when she was successful, she was starting the point to Angela's forehand side so that she could step around the backhand corner where she had both angles. And now she's playing so much into Angela's backhand corner that she's like, that's the ball. That's the play that Ying Lu was doing. When she was really successful, that's what she was doing.
I think probably what's happening is she realizes she can get it wide out to Angela's forehand, but she wants to start with something that she can step around a little bit easier. So by going to the backhand, that step around, while Angela can go straight, she gets a little bit of a wider angle when she finally makes that turn. Whereas chopping it to the forehand, Angela's jamming her in the backhand. Oh, Angela going again for that backhand bumping block off the bounce.
It's a good play because it keeps Ying Lu thinking that you can't just lay a ball in there with no consequence. Even though she missed it, I still think it was a good decision.
Dead push,
Yep.
dead chop, and it paid off. Angela putting the racket on the ball's tough because of the spinning, but to take the spin off of it and keep it low, you almost knew that Ying Lu was going to pop it because there was nothing on the ball.
Yep, and to do that in this much pressure, Sean, that takes such a relaxed hand to deaden that thing out on the forehand side.
She completely threaded that needle, and again, there's the wide angle. And Angela has to respect that Ying Lu can take that down the line. So she can't hedge over to the wide forehand. Otherwise, that ball will go down the line. Not with a lot of pace, but with so much spin that she won't be able to keep it down on the table. So, such a battle of position when you see a player who plays solid against a chopper. Again, you see Ying Lu after the shot just lifting her elbow up. You know, at this point, Corey, I'm wondering how much it's going to come down to the legs of Ying Lu to get under the ball to really drive up and through the ball versus just using most of her arm. Guan with the 2-point advantage and the serve here in Game 7. Very strong patience by Ying Lu.
As I saw that ball floating, Sean, I just had a feeling it was going to tick the back edge, and it didn't. But it seemed like it took forever for that ball to get down.
Still a 1-point advantage from the young Californian.
Huge point here.
You just see that ball jump off of Ying Lu's racket on the push. Oh, what a great inside-out ball that Angela was able to fish back, but Ying Lu continues to go wide out to the forehand.
And you can see, she's not going to hurry to pick up this ball, Sean. After that point, I could see her lungs were full of air. 7-7. What a match. Seventh game, 7-7. Quarterfinals women's singles here in Vegas. Chopper against Looper.
And Angela Guan going out to the forehand to force the loop. And now Ying Lu with the serve, but Angela with the small break. a great topspin fishing return by Angela to back Yinglu off the table. Almost appeared that Yinglu wasn't quite sure how much topspin was on that ball and kind of did a half of a shot.
And that ball has a funny jump off these tables sometimes.
And Angela Guan going right back to the forehand side of the table and now has 3 match points. This would be quite an upset here against the number 1 seed.
Angela was ready.
She guessed right on that one.
She was ready. Yinglu surviving 1 match point.
Wow. Boy, she went to what's been working for her, that loop out to the forehand.
I
And
can't
Angela,
see Sean. Has Angela called her time? I know Yinglu's called her timeout. Has
I
Angela
believe
called her
both
time?
players have called their
Okay.
timeouts.
I can't quite see the scoreboard from here.
Will Angela try anything risky or offensive minded? She's going for the dead chop. That popped. No depth to that
Man.
ball.
No,
Match point.
but that's still not an
number
easy
2.
ball down match point, man. That's
It would have been a little bit better if it could have been on the forehand side, but she had no angle to get it over there.
yeah.
Really limited. There's going to be no risk on Yinglu's side. Oh,
Wow,
what an angle
deuce.
forehand smash by Yinglu. We haven't seen such an extreme angle this whole match. And at the most opportune time to deuce it up.
That's been the wide ball I've been talking about off Yinglu's forehand.
That ball went about 4 inches
I
from
know.
the net.
I've eaten that ball several times, Sean, when I played her, and it's so wide.
All right, Angela with the serve. Going with a strong serve and getting it out to the forehand. And now that ball catches the top of the net. There was no angle for that kill on that ball. It was too close to the center of the table. And certainly Angela would love to have a timeout here just to slow things down. Angela's got to get the ball out to the forehand side. And she does, and she's taken the match in the upset. Angela Guan takes out the number 1 seed, Yinglu, 12-10 in the 7th. What a comeback and an outstanding performance by the 2015 World Team member, Angela Guan, just playing outstanding from the first game on. So we now have our first women's semifinalists with Angela Guan, and she will face the winner of Jennifer Wu, who will be coming up at 4:15, which is basically right now, against Lily Zhang, in which is clearly to be a ton of fireworks with a member of the 2016 U.S. Olympic team going to Rio, Jennifer Wu, against Youth Olympics bronze medalist and defending women's champion Lily Zhang. So we'll return right back after we give the players a chance to get ready to enter the court, and stay tuned for more live action from the Las Vegas Convention Center, hosting the 2015 U.S. National Championships.
Hey, Joe. Go, go, hey. Go. Hey.
And welcome back. We are now in the second men's quarterfinals. My name is Sean O'Neill. Sitting next to me is Adam Bobrow. Adam, so wonderful to have you here in the booth.
Thanks, Sean. Good to be here. Exciting to work with you again.
Great. So we have Alan Wong, far side, black top, serving against Sharon Algetti, both junior players making their first quarterfinal appearances. Going into this match, I think most players were expecting Canuck Jaw to be here.
Right.
But Alan was able to turn the tables, 4-0 upset to get here. Sharon's been playing great all year long. I mean, he's been very consistent, very aggressive, great table game. We saw twin brother Gall lose to Moola in the first quarterfinals in a great match. And now it looks like the ball has found its way under the stands. Coach Corey Eider changing some duties. Got it to put it back into play, but should be interesting, Adam, to see which one of these players either just sets the pressure, gets the first attack in. Alan has such great hands over the table with a lot more finesse. There you see the nice counterattack.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Alan's backhand's a monster. Like many players, when he's loose, he's much better. His match against Canuck Jaw was incredible. He was trailing all of game one and then managed to come back, take game one, and in game two was up 8-1, I believe, and then 8 straight points for Canuck Jaw to lead 9-8, and Alan took game two as well, and then it was over.
Yeah, we've seen Alan play some really strong matches here in Las Vegas. Timothy Wong has had a couple battles with him over the years, but almost junior table tennis is slightly different because both players often will play off of the pace. Alan is so relaxed as a big kid. He's got so much leverage when he really gets a hold of that ball.
And as you saw right there, the touch, received the serve and gave it all back to Sharon Algetti, leading 7-2 now, first game.
Look at that shot.
Inside out forehand, no chance of that one coming back.
I mean, that got Coach Corey Eider standing up there in the corner. I mean, oh, and very nice banana flip there by Sharon. Just, you know, Adam, of all the juniors, I've been so impressed with Sharon. Just great court sense. Maybe not the biggest hitter, but he really makes the opponent work for every single point against him. Very few loose balls. Good positive outlook, doesn't get down on himself. They're just really smart deep serve, just a little change up, and though he's trailing by 5 points, staying completely focused.
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned about not having many loose balls can definitely make up for, say, where the opponent has wingspan, strength, even speed.
And right there, that's what can allow you to steal a game. All of a sudden, you're down by 3 or 4, make the opponent have to think they've got to work a little bit harder than they want to. But at the same time, I think with Allen, the looser he gets, the crazier his offense becomes.
Right, it gives him a little bit of freedom, you know, to be creative, to take shots that are a little higher risk.
And he didn't hesitate on that one, but that looked a little more forced. I mean, he just jumped on it. The ball wasn't that close to the table. And now
makes up for it with a down the line backhand, the shorter side, the tougher shot, and he makes it.
He's just gauging his range on that last combo there.
Yeah, it's funny. From a score standpoint, the point before, it did feel forced, right?
Yeah, and now
goes for it again. Sharon making it a 1-point game here, 1 point away from tying it up. It's the best of 7 match, men's singles.
Quarterfinals.
And Alan Wong escapes by the narrowest of margins, 11-9.
And that's what he did in the Canuck match. I mean,
right.
He was able to kind of sneak out without really having Canuck Job be able to turn the screws on him after that big comeback. So he's got Coach Corey Eider in the corner, not only giving him tactical advice, but Corey has mentioned he tries to keep him a little bit more excited because he tends to be a very low-keyed player, wanting him to go for shots and not necessarily just wait for things to happen.
Right, it's funny how people have quite different attitudes. Some players are constantly hungry for the attack, looking to steal wherever they can. They flip on the serve, they fire off immediately. Some let the opponent hit a few first, block. I mean, Galal Getty, for example, can block forever, it seems. Now, it's funny, every year, Sean, we've got a whole group of teenagers, anywhere from now it seems like 12 years old to 18 years old. So I guess 12 isn't a teenager technically, but yeah, we've got 13 to 18-year-olds, let's say, that are coming out here and knocking out the Tim Wongs and all the top guys you've seen. And I remember when Tim Wong was 15, when he broke 2,500. What was it like when you were there, when you were a teenager?
Well, we had greats like Eric Bogan and Danny Seymour that were such international stars that a lot of times we'd play them, we had almost reached a foregone conclusion that they were just too good. But then all of a sudden you had the Jimmy Butlers come up and they kind of changed the mindset that they could do anything. And I think that's the same thing that these kids are thinking now. I mean, their games have continually improved with these ITTF Junior Tour events. I mean, they're getting great coaching from the number of Chinese players that have visited their home club. So the level of play is just so much higher now than it's ever been in the country. Oh, look at that. Nice backhand off the bounce.
I think the score here right now, Alan Wong leading. Seems like Sharon is a little bit tighter than he was in game 1.
And as you said, Adam, Sharon is trying to force the issue, and that really plays into Allen's game of not so much a pure counterattacker, but he uses the tempo and the pace so well in his redirect loops. Look at that backhand.
See, this is a problem. You've really got to know your opponent's sweet spots. Alan Wong has one of the most memorable backhands I've seen in the United States as far as citizens go. He's also got a bigger middle than most, being a tall player. So if you can play to the middle like there and then go wide to the backhand as demonstrated there, it's going to be a little more effective to get him off balance, not have him have such a clean, comfortable opening.
That's, again, a very strong deep serve. It's the second deep serve we've seen Sharon deliver. Just really mixing it up well. And that serve, double bounce right on the white line.
Perfect placement.
And Allen knew what he wanted to do. It's just the execution couldn't be there because that ball was perfect length. Of course, Sharon took out Han Xiao in his first match and then Chance Friend in order to reach this quarterfinals. Allen had a slightly luckier draw with having Xiaoyu, the top seed, defaulting out due to arm injuries before upsetting Kanak Ja in 4 straight games.
Xiaoyu, another one of the more memorable backhands in the U.S. Little roll reversal there.
Yeah.
Allen playing patiently from the backhand.
Almost
Sharon,
playing like twin brother
Gall.
Gall, just keeping the ball in play nice and low.
Right. Keeping Sharon pinned in the backhand.
Oh, and then here comes the monster backhand, which
Punisher.
Yeah, you're not going to have Allen play too safe for too long. But in some ways, Adam, I think that when Allen goes for those monster rips, it just changes the mindset of the opponent to maybe being a little bit more safe, knowing that you might score a point that way, which then lends itself to more offense. But Sharon, great quality forehand loop, just really working well.
Well, that last one, I mean, he clearly was playing for placement as opposed to power. Took a little extra time to see, and this is funny, the peripheral. He saw where Allen was standing and decided to hit it behind him inside out.
Just a no-risk shot, well-placed, well-formulated. And, I mean, I just see the maturity.
I guess the risk is it's
Sharon.
tougher to contact, right? You're not going straight through it. You're brushing it.
Right. And you know you don't have to worry about a counterattack because you're looping it away from the player. But Sharon has really, I think, mastered more of the placement and really the court positioning in the men's division much better than some of the other juniors who are still just happy to make a strong attack at every opportunity. Look at these deep serves. I mean, these are explosive serves that are really catching Allen kind of on his heels. Now Allen's going for a backhand serve, which generally signifies he's not confident with the forehand. And here we have it. Sharon Aletti has evened up this match at 1 game apiece and taken a command and control.
Yeah, the tables have definitely turned here as far as energy. I think anyone who's watched USA table tennis in the last few years is aware that the Algettis have a certain fire within, that they really are not a silent group, that they will fight as hard as they can, even if it means yelling Chole, yo, 6 or 7 times before the next serve. And Sharon is just starting to warm up into that zone, but he's definitely making it a match now.
And if he's feeling uncomfortable saying it, his brothers will help out from courtside, so I don't see them right now.
Well, I'll tell you why. One of them's playing outside. Gall is being coached right now by Adar. So 2/3 of the party
Algetti
pack,
trio.
Treacherous 3, are not here to be really supporting from the family corner. So it's going to be a little bit different for Sharon Algetti. And of course, you know, when you have 3 top players playing, you get used to playing sometimes without the whole family there, the brothers gone.
Oh, that was just such a well-placed loop down the line.
And a great setup with the serve. I mean, Allen clearly having trouble reading the deceptive topspin. Not necessarily how much topspin is on it, but how tough it is to read.
And that serve just jumped away from it, caught the back edge of the table, and popped up. And again, Allen, no problem getting his backhand loop into play.
But it was a little odd to me. Sharon stepped around for that ball. Might have had a chance to come back with it. I mean, Allen's receive was good enough, but not if Sharon's waiting in the middle of the table or where he is right now even.
And now you can see a little bit of a forced serve there.
As far as mental strength goes, it'll be very interesting to see how these players battle. So a step behind the table. This is something with the wingspan. You can cover a little bit more ground. Sharon's going to have to stay closer if he can.
And really, Adam, from the end of game 1 through game 2 and now here into 3, Sharon has just been moving forward on almost every single shot. He hasn't backed away. He's basically staked his claim to saying, I'm going to be putting some strong offense on you, both with the deep serves. And that was a nice deep push there. But forcing Allen to have to make a really big shot if he's even going to start the rally.
A little bit surprised in those serve combinations. We didn't see anything short to the forehand. We did, a lot of the times the player will serve short to the forehand and then hit it deep to the backhand to follow up, sort of bait and then hit the guy out of position, or something long into the backhand and fast because they're crowding the table.
So at least on that last ball, Allen decided to be a little bit more offensive-minded and not just play a controlled return. Fighting to get back in this match. And that's what Allen needs to do. He needs to get 2 balls in to where he can actually either turn on the ball or have enough time to get his backswing in. He does have longer strokes because of his height. Those are really nice controlled backhand blocks.
Your ears okay? My headphones. I don't
yeah,
know,
we
might be
just
the
had
levels.
a mic test there. Holy cow.
Yeah, it seemed like Allen had a few shots and then softened up just a little bit, and Sharon got right back in it.
And again, the one thing I really like what Sharon is doing, he's never going for a bomb on the first ball. It's always a well-placed ball. And if he sees an opening from the opponent, he might add a little bit more spin before he adds the speed just to keep that ball safe and low. So the winner of this match will play the top half of the draw that is completely opened up, but it'll be between Stephen Wong and Mark Hazinski. So the top seeds have all fallen by the wayside here at the U.S. National Championships. And there's a nice forehand by Alan Wong.
He went with the risky serve down the line fast. He got Sharon off balance. He knew he was going to get a long ball back.
Surprised Sharon didn't take that ball back down the line to the backhand because he's really been living in the backhand corner.
It's a little late to get there. More of a defensive sort of chasing the ball shot than really an aggressive, still in control type of play.
Net serve. Sharon has been very aggressive on his serves, and that's just a freebie right there. Allen has to make that backhand loop at 9-8. Not that he has to go for a winner, but at least you've got to get that ball over the net. Just constant pressure by Aletti number 2. That's a well-conceived point there by Allen. Nice high toss serve, controlled follow.
That's something we don't see too often. A receiver jumping into the middle and then back out, trying to get in the opponent's head a little bit, put a little bit of extra pressure on the serve, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it looked like Allen knew what he wanted to do, but that slight little hedging by Sharon changed the timing some.
And understandably so. I mean, if you know you've got a player coming in for a backhand over the forehand side of the table and you were planning on serving to the middle, suddenly you're thinking serve it deeper and wider to the backhand. Just anytime you can change your opponent's mind, get them to hesitate, they're going to be a little bit less sure about what they're doing, a little bit less confident.
So, once again, Sharon Aletti really putting pressure with both offensive placement, but even some tactical nuances here with the slight shift on the serve return to give Alan Wong a slightly different look. And I would anticipate, Adam, that Sharon's going to continue to come out with both guns blazing and just keep the pressure on. I can't imagine him playing passive or waiting for Alan to miss.
Yeah, I think Allen's going to have to come up with some new ideas as far as his serve game, as far as mixing it up, changing up the placement a little bit. Nice. Even that shot right there, he's got a big forehand, but that did really seem like a 6 out of 10 shot for Allen.
Maybe even a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely somewhere in there.
In there. I mean, it's just, he could have taken it to the backhand and probably put it on, But see those loops right now by Sharon. Oh, that ball is well blocked into the backhand.
And soft, too. You might have noticed that Sharon was off balance taking that ball. Credit to Alan Wong for really slowing down, changing the pace, forcing Sharon to take a ball from out in front.
Again, smart opening by Sharon to get out to the forehand block.
And the body language from Sharon fighting for every point like it's championship point. That's going to be helpful out here.
That was really the first forced forehand loop we've seen by Sharon.
Yeah, and I think Alan had a very intentional, heavy underspin push deep that forced a rush shot that he had to try and lift a lot.
That ball hit the edge. Alan pointed it out. Now they'll go through the...
Go through the what?
It looked like Alan mentioned that it caught the edge, but it doesn't seem like anyone noticed that. We'll see. And I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong, but it looked to me like Alan had pointed out that it caught the edge. So
your eyes are better than mine. Maybe I simply didn't notice.
Can always go to the replay later. So
again, the soft receive. Sometimes a flip doesn't have to be fast, but it's something that's unexpected, changes and breaks the rhythm, so the third ball's very awkward, as you saw right there.
So Alan able to get into the points a little bit easier. Sharon still trying to get his offense in early, but Alan doing a slightly better job. Oh, that was a nice backhand flip on a serve that popped a little bit.
I think he read it quite clearly. The top side spin kick serve. Sharon playing it out to the open side.
Again, well-placed serves, just always to an elbow or to a transition point. And again, Alan with the height advantage, but he's also going to have the larger middle or elbow section. Oh, that's, again, he gets jammed because of his height, then he uses it to his great advantage, just taking that ball off the bounce.
Well, that was a very confident shot. This is the Alan Wong that we saw yesterday beat Kunuk-Ja 4-0. Throughout this match, he's looked a little bit more hesitant and cautious.
That's a nice backhand opening.
Well placed onto the body from Sharon first to open up wide after. I mean, he's basically forcing Alan Wong into submission right now. He's taking away all his power.
You could just see Alan having the patience to work that point, realizing that if both players back up, he will have a pretty sizable edge with their off-the-table loops.
Literally and figuratively.
And there.
Inside out, too, still bending away.
That ball hit the white line and just loading it up.
Happens to the best of them. And now it's 4 game points for Alan Wong to tie things up.
Alan looks so calm to me right now. Definitely a must-win game.
I think that's just his demeanor, too. I mean, his play at times seems stressed and tense to me. Every once in a while he makes a shot where he's clearly loose and a little more free. Reverse pendulum for the point.
And a nice deep one. And I think probably anyone that plays against one of the Aletti brothers is probably going to look a little bit calm, because always you're going to see them with full energy, full excitement. And right now at a 2-2 game.
You're saying you think they look calm relative to the Algettis, or they're going to be more calm to try and yin and yang to balance it?
Just more calm compared.
Oh, okay. I tend to, and I've seen it before, where some people get fired up when their opponents scream a lot. It's like, well, if they're going to scream, then I'm going to out-scream them, and I'm not going to let them take advantage of me mentally. I'm going to give it right back to them and let them deal with it, hearing their opponent scream.
Right, and I think what Alan, because of his maturity, he's thinking, I'm going to calm Sharon down and get him to play into my world of nice and smooth and silky and beautiful shots. Sharon, on the other hand, is going to constantly be saying, here comes my best shot. And I just look at his serves. I'm so impressed by the service selection. Sharon's mixing it up. I mean, he just reminds me a lot of Jimmy when Jimmy Butler gets people off balance. He just jams them with the deep serve. And so far, Sharon has really been picking his serves, but we're tied 2 apiece. And right now, this game is the most critical to see who will be our second semifinalist. Going with a backhand short serve.
Go!
Just working the opening.
The one thing you see at the top levels, and you don't see so much in the top levels, you don't see a lot of flat hits in the top level.
Wow, Allen really staying with the backhand block even over onto the forehand side.
I brought up the flat hit because Sharon is spinning everything he can to give a little extra insurance to make sure the shots go in, keep the ball deep, keep the pressure on the opponent. And there we go, some spin from Allen to take the point.
And that ball, after landing, stayed so nice and low.
Well, he's got this whip-like backhand. I mean, he uses the arms very well, keeps his wrists so loose and snappy. Strong receive, but the follow-up attack, that's the pressure. I mean, Sharon's not going to overpower Alan Wong. You can see that clearly.
But it's just a lot of body blows. I mean, every single opportunity to get that first attack into a good location. Look at that. Wide to the forehand, get us something to work with, go out to the backhand.
Right, that right off the bounce forehand counter was really the shot that set up control for Sharon to finish it down the line. It's not an easy shot to do, dropping to the ground, taking the ball early from near the table. This is the pressure that Allen needs to keep on as early as possible. Anything that he can do, put some topspin, some pace on it early in the rally to keep Sharon a little less comfortable. Sharon's placement is so precise, he's been controlling the points.
Just so positive, so focused, really not altering his game plan at all. Nice drop to the elbow, short, gets the safe opening, forcing Allen to have to do a lot more footwork-wise to get in position to do anything. Oh my gosh, that was loud. That's like in football, first down, a 6-yard run. You just jam it down, you're going to get the opening. Now you can do whatever you want with a little bit of a lead. You don't even have to take risks. You can put the opponent, make him cover a little bit more, deeper push.
And just before that shot, I was actually thinking throughout, Sharon Algetti has been playing the safe shots. He's been spinning the ball, keeping the pressure on wherever he can, just trying to really put on as much spin and pressure as possible, not going for big winners.
There was a little hesitation on the serve return with
the
Sharon,
shuffle of feet.
The little shuffle.
Every day he's shuffling.
I think Alan Wong realizes he's not changing what type of serve return. It's more of an irritant than let me take advantage of something he might be doing. But that's a nice block out to the forehand. Well placed again to the backhand side. Looked like Allen was ready to get his forehand loaded. But Sharon continuing to really control the angles.
And that's a huge point for the morale, for the fight right now, the mental space of Sharon. He loses that point. It's been a big run for Alan Wong, but now he's sort of stopped the comeback train, taking control.
Oh, that ball, it looked like it caught the net possibly.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
One of those kind of soft flips.
A little bit awkward. This is the most jammed we've seen Sharon Algetti on the backhand side. Looked like he was caught in a really uncomfortable position.
Just reaching for the ball a little bit at the end. And oh, huge point by Alan Wong, able to escape from the defensive end there.
Just sort of threw the racket down at the ball, floated it up on the table. Looked like Sharon had it for whatever he wanted to do to it. And still couldn't take the point.
A timeout by Team Algetti. Anytime an offensive player can win a point from that defensive stance, it's such a positive surge of, you can't get it through me.
So as far as service placement, the backhand, I'm just trying to think about what they're talking about in the Algetti corner right now. Got a lot of backhand serves well placed, short to the forehand side, half long to the middle forehand side. And then Sharon's third ball, he's almost always received a third ball he could spin, something that comes off the table. Allen's had some good touch here and there, but it's still been a little bit shaky throughout the match.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Adam, if the thought from Sharon's corner is to be overly aggressive with the serve and try to get something loose and easy to deal with, or if it's to serve short and tight and then just work that first ball maybe to an elbow or maybe even out to the forehand.
And you've got two serves right now, so the element of surprise, if you can serve something short and tight, a half-long serve that's well placed to earn a third ball, and then something deep to the backhand.
Now, he's staying short in control. Nice loop. But this is the type of point that Allen wants. Once he gets into the 5th to 7th to 9th ball and there's some heavy topspin, he's got the leverage advantage off the table. And there's the deep serve. And when you're expecting the deep serve, it's not that tough to load it up.
The problem is with a deep serve, if it's going to have underspin, it can't be floating. It can't be lukewarm. It gave Allen way too much time. If you're going to do a deep serve, it's got to be fast enough that it really jams your opponent. A little bit surprised that Allen, I mean, he started hitting the shots that he was loose and confident with, and then just overdid it, trying to play wide to the forehand.
And a little bit of jam to the center, but I don't think he should have missed it by that much. Now he's, again, staying with the high toss serve. And there, got the backhand snappy hit after a very heavy spun opening. So Alan Wong right now in the driver's seat a little bit, but wow, 11-9 in game 5 to get that 3-2 advantage in this men's singles quarterfinal.
You know, so far point for point, Alan Wong has only scored one more point than Sharon Algetti. That's how close this match is.
And Adam, I think that one defensive stance that Allen was able to return just kind of changed the mindset a little bit, where Allen looked a little bit more moving forward and Sharon maybe not as sure of himself. So
it's funny, it can affect players either way. I mean, you win a point like that in desperation. Some players think, oh wow, I can win a point defensively, and then they get a little bit more defensive and play a little more cautiously. And some people realize, wow, I'm really lucky I got away with that point. I'm not winning most of my points this way, and I should have lost that point. I need to be in at the table. Allen, fortunately, with his wingspan and his power, within a step of the table, even if he's not right over the table, can still win a point. Just one step off with his power and with his speed, you know?
And I think that... So you can see right now, Allen ready to pull the trigger, just jumping out with a nice deep serve, had the ball on his paddle, but sent it long. Those are quality blocks, and Allen is continuing to just load up the loops. I mean, keeping that ball so low.
But as you might have noticed, the last shot was the soft one. He just played a touch ball that broke the rhythm.
Look at that shot. That's insane. I mean, right off the bounce.
And for a guy as tall as Allen is, I mean, he didn't get down and low into it. He just sort of swept across the body and hit it away.
And that was a great deep serve, unable to convert. Got the ball he wanted, just couldn't snap that ball in. So now Allen with the serve and the 2-point lead here in game 6. Oh, that's just leverage, power, control. I mean, it's not a risky shot by any stretch. He's above the net by about 3 inches, driving forward. and he can take it anywhere.
Okay, some liveliness coming back into Sharon.
Yeah.
2 points earlier, the ball that was in high on the backhand side reminded me a lot of that defensive point we saw Allen make and still win. It's got to get in the head of Sharon Algetti to miss 2 balls like that you should take 95% of the time.
That was a beautiful backhand off the bounce down the line. The wrist action of Alan Wong to be able to redirect. I mean, it's just uncanny for somebody that tall.
It's the second time this game he's taken a serve right off the bounce with that long arm of his on the forehand over the table flip. Not even full swings. These serves are kept short enough. They'll probably bounce twice on the table.
That was a very well placed kind of take it earlier off the bounce by Sharon.
And you can see when Allen backs off the table a little bit and he's still standing a little upright. He doesn't have sort of the counter loop. His stance isn't one that's ready to counter loop when he's backing up or off the table.
The battle of the backhands. And Adam, when I saw that backhand to backhand, I could just think of Alan's sister, Amy. Exact same technique, just right off the bounce, so fluid, so easy.
Left-handed attempt from Sharon Algetti. The ball hit way behind him. Figures he has no chance at floating it up like Allen did.
And Allen is looking towards that finish line. Look at that. The deep serve against somebody that tall when they're expecting it, I mean, it's just misdirection left and right.
Tough to tell. I mean, Allen's pretty unpredictable. Sometimes he gets tight and tense, and that shot right there was clearly the exact opposite. Just so loose, decided to go for it and puts it away. So we've got 7 match points for Alan Wong to move on to the semifinals here. Now, I'm not a USATT history encyclopedia, but I don't remember seeing Alan Wong in the semifinals before.
And Sharon is saying not quite yet. That was a beautiful reverse inside out off the paddle serve.
Not so fast, big boy. And you can see Alan thought he had hit a winner. I mean, he's done it so many times so far.
And Sharon clearly was going to stay in home corner there. Able to just block it back, but quickly Coach Corey Eider called the timeout.
Which is interesting because they put the timeout card on Sharon Algetti's side. I thought he used his earlier in Game 5.
So we'll get that potentially corrected.
But yeah, I do think it's Corey Eider's timeout. And there were a few screams in this match that I was like, wait a minute, Sharon lost that point. Where'd the scream come from? And then it occurred to me it was Corey Eider in the corner screaming for Allen.
But they did put the T card on Sharon's side of the table.
Well, we're all human, who knows? So after a big inside-out forehand coming right back, Sharon's still in it.
And
net ball for the match. You know what? It wasn't deuce in the 7th, so, I mean, it was still a comfortable win for Alan Wong in Game 6, but a very tough fight throughout the match until that final game.
And I really think, Adam, that one super hustle on defense is where we saw the tide turn, where Allen was able just to keep the pressure going, play with a little bit of patience, beautiful placement. Once he gets that forehand or backhand unleashed, I don't think there's anyone left in the tournament that can hit the ball nearly as hard, but it's just having the time in order to get into position. So we have number 2 semifinalist.
Well, we've got Zaman Moola. As far as hard hits go, I mean, the forehand from Zaman Moola when he's loose, I think, is unmatched out here.
And now we've got Alan Wong joining the Final Four. And next up will be one heck of a match between...
Is this Lily Zhang and Jennifer Wu?
Yes, it is.
It's going to be very exciting. I saw Lily playing overseas at the Swedish Open, had a chance, a good chance to take Du Hoi Kem from Hong Kong down. Some match balls, and Du Hoi Kem came back. But Lily's been playing incredibly well, and Jennifer already qualified for the Olympics, right?
Yeah, so we have a rematch of the Pan Am team trial where Lily did win, forcing Jennifer to come in to make the Pan Am team in the third tryout, but then Jennifer taking the gold medal in Toronto to get that early ticket to Rio. So now Lily still has a lot of work ahead of her. The winner of women's singles will go directly to the North American Olympic trials. They'll bypass Greensboro. So there's a lot at stake here in the women's singles, with Angela Guan pulling a monster upset.
That was amazing, an amazing match. If you didn't see it live, you can catch it on the USATT official YouTube channel. I'm sure you'll see that there. And we've got Corey Eider back.
So, Adam, I want to thank you so much for jumping in, and also thank you for all the great work that you're doing on the ITTF Pro Tour World Championships, World Cup, and the player interviews, which I just love to death.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Keep it going, and we'll see if we can get you back in the booth when we have a conflict.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'll be enjoying watching some of the best matches in the country with you from the stand shortly, Sean.
Thanks so much. We are back now for the women's singles quarterfinals between Lily Zhang on the near side in the red shirt. She's facing Jennifer Wu in the black on the far side. My name is Sean O'Neill, and seated next to me is Corey Eider. Corey, congratulations on that last victory, helping Alan Wong join the Final Four.
Man, I tell you, Sean, some of the shots that kid makes is really unbelievable. Sometimes I'm cheering because I want to pump him up, and sometimes it just comes out. Like, I'm so surprised that he hit such a big shot on a big stage. But,
so
man, we have our hands full here, huh?
Yeah, this match is a repeat of tournament number 2 of the Pan Am team tryouts, which Lily got the upper hand. Of course, all of the USA table tennis fans know that Jennifer Wu won the gold medal in women's singles at the Pan Am Games in Toronto, thus booking her ticket for Rio. So she is our first member on the Olympic team, now fighting in her first women's singles national championship. Lily playing professionally in Europe right now, taking a break from school at Berkeley. Of course, playing for ICC in Milpitas, California. And these two ladies were teammates up in Toronto at the Pan Am Games, where they won gold over Brazil in the team event with third player Jiaqi Zhang. And wow, Lily looking extremely sharp at the beginning of this match.
I would imagine, Sean, we're going to see some really good matches here between these two. Since they're teammates, they've had to have been practicing a lot with each other the past couple of months in the Pan Am Games.
And I think, Corey, the fact that Lily's right now over in Europe, that might give her a little bit of an edge, because she has been playing in international competition. Although the women's game is so different. Jennifer tends to play a little bit more men's players in her training. So we'll see. Both these players have such great hand-to-hand combat skills. Up at the table, fast off the bounce on the backhand side. Just, it's amazing how they're able to take the ball off the bounce without slowing down. Lily's backhand, after she opens up with her forehand, is so quick. Normally, Jennifer is able to get almost any opponent kind of handcuffed with her quick off the bounce, but that last point, Lily just revved it up one speed faster. That's a nice change of pace by Jennifer.
I don't think this is going to come into play, Sean, but there's a lot more pressure on Lily to win, to get that free ticket to Canada for the Olympic trials, because Jennifer's ticket's already punched.
Yeah, I think Lily's coming into the nationals with a lot more pressure. Of course, she's going to have great focus as the defending women's champion, but the women's field gained so much depth with a number of players coming back and a few new players. So clearly Jennifer should be able to swing a little freer but I'm sure she would love more than anything to go to Rio as the U.S. Women's Champion. But the road to Rio is going to be tough for Lily right now. Great return on a deep serve into the middle by Jennifer. Lily lunging a little bit on that last forehand, and game point to Jennifer Wu. So Jennifer taking game number 1, 11-9.
Lily was really in control most of the game, and then at the end, Jennifer put a bunch of really good points together. One thing I was saying about the pressure with Lily earlier, Sean, is that she's really dealt with pressure her whole career, and she's done so with unbelievable class and with unbelievable results. And any of the young girls that are training in the U.S. could really just look at Lily as an example of how it's done. She's done it for a long period of time at the highest level, and just a great person off the table as well.
I mean, early on with such a rivalry with Ariel Shing, and then doing so exceptionally well internationally for the U.S. while going to school, having a great world championships where she took out Gina Pota as well as one of the top Russian choppers to, oh, look at that hustle and fight right there. Again, very well played by Jennifer, just really picking her spots well. I mean, Lily, it looks like she's doing more of the heavy lifting, but Jennifer's getting the slight edge on the scoreboard. That ball, Jennifer set it up quite well. A little bit early, having that ball go into the net. Oh, beautiful redirect down the line. Both these players able to take anything loose and just place it on a dime on the table. And very nice backhand flip by Jennifer. Those shots are so much easier, Corey, when you have a 1 to 2 point lead, and you can just kind of zip in there and zip out.
You mentioned earlier, Sean, with Jennifer doing most of her training early in her stay in the United States with men, and we've always kind of wondered how she would do against the top women, and now we've finally gotten the chance to see. I mean, she kind of proved it at the Pan Ams that against women she's pretty darn good, because we've only seen her play mostly men in the tournaments out on the East Coast.
And I think one thing, Corey, that she even mentions quite often that she needs as much international play against women. It's not to say that the men practice partners that she plays with in the New Jersey, New York area aren't strong, but it's a different ball.
And it's a different speed. It's not as much power as it is quickness. But she's been training for years now, unbelievably, just waiting for her chance once she got her citizenship to get her crack at the U.S. Nationals.
And she finished third on the Pan Am team. These are great forehand loops. Look at that, so strong, both cross court and down the line.
Yeah, Jennifer's doing an unbelievable job of just spraying the ball around the table, making Lily cover the forehand side and the backhand side. And Lily actually took a step back there, Sean, to deal with that.
Yeah, really using Lily's tempo against her, which is no small feat. Look at that. That was so well placed. Again, it seems like almost, Corey, the short opening brings the opponent in order to allow you to play a nice deep ball away from their paddle in order to get them to reach for it.
Yeah, that time Lily kind of slowed it down for one ball, and then boom, next one she went real fast and hard to the wide backhand of Jennifer Wu.
Jennifer once again forcing the opening. And that was a forced backhand right there by Lily. Jennifer really letting this game come to her. Not rushing, not really feeling any of the pressure that Lily, and look at that quality backhand loop.
I don't know, Sean. Lily and Coach Massimo Constantini have a lot of questions that they need to answer to deal with Jennifer's game right now. And it's not, I don't even know if it's as much tactical as it is, she's just going to have to raise her level to be there with Jennifer.
It's almost like, Corey, she has to go up a level and a half, because if she goes up just one level, Jennifer will continue to use her pace against her. She has to go to where that pace can't be just redone, re-angled, refocused. And then at the same time, she can't afford to give a loose ball, because Jennifer's jumping on the loose balls both down the line and cross court. I almost think that maybe even if Lily slowed things down some and calmed Jennifer's offense, that could provide a little bit of a wedge to reestablish that she can play faster hand to hand.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when somebody's using your pace and your speed, you need to slow it down and let them use the lack of speed. It slows it down. Then you can go hard. So she's going to have to change the speed of the point a little bit, and it has to be in the middle of the point. But we'll find out real quick if Lily Zhang can solve the Jennifer Wu puzzle.
I mean, Jennifer finished game one and has just continued to steamroll. Again, just no pressure on Jennifer. Just quality serve, great opening, and then a well-placed third and fifth ball. Nice deep push into the elbow. Wow. Looked like Lily said after that last point, oh my God, that ball was so well placed right into her elbow. After serving and turning, it was still 2 inches to the right of where she thought it would be. Just Jennifer is having no issues at all with the bounce, the timing. I mean, she's got to be feeling good on every one of these shots. That ball, she realized she lifted up that elbow a little bit. But so far, Jennifer has just been firing on all cylinders. It's really going to be up to Lily to see if she can throw some type of wrench into this. There's a nice forehand attack there. Big mistake. Just forcing the issue.
That was a big mistake there, Sean. Just when she started to play a couple of good points.
And all Jennifer's been doing right now, Corey, is
middle and wide backhand.
Yeah, play one ball deep to the backhand, get her to have to commit to play a backhand there, and then take that next ball outside of her body, getting her to reach. Middle, and then wide. Middle. And that time Lily got the first pressured backhand and moved Jennifer out wide. Both these players are so fast, and their middles are so much smaller than everyone else's. But you can just see both players, every opportunity on that first ball, jam the opponent.
I almost wonder if Lily changed her table position every now and again to make her middle move a little bit so Jennifer can't find it so easily. Because Jennifer is just in her elbow all day long.
No, I mean, but that's the difference, is that Jennifer on the wide forehand, at least in today's match, is having no difficulty taking that ball down the line. Usually that's one of Lily's best shots, is the down the line forehand. But I don't think she's faced anyone, clearly not any American players, that have just jammed her into the center of the table. That was a nice attack sequence there, but now trailing 8-4 and down 2-0. This is an absolute must-win game. Although we did see Lily come back against Mo Jung at the North Americans in Westchester, down 3-0. And Jennifer did not panic after having a high ball that she just placed and just stayed in the rally.
Yeah, I think, Sean, if I was in Lily's corner, I would advise her to take a step back and slow the ball down and add some rotation to the ball. Just so that Jennifer can't get to the ball to those locations with as much speed.
Wow, that is just impressive. Lily is playing well. Jennifer is just on fire. Just such table control, placement. And now, look at the scores, 9-5 and 4. And that's just amazing.
And Lily's not playing bad.
No.
She's not playing great, but she's not playing 9-5 and 4 bad for sure.
Right. No, I mean, she's not missing shots off her racket. Jennifer's having to take at least 4 to 5 balls to get it through her.
But I'm surprised Lily, she hasn't really made any changes. When you lose 9-5, I'm surprised that at some point you have to change and try something different, whether it's take a step back or maybe cut a little bit wide to Jennifer's backhand, because Jennifer's not really taking the backhand down the line as much as she is the forehand side.
But I think, Corey, maybe the big issue on Lily's mind is that Jennifer's first ball into her elbow is so deep that she really can't turn or do much with the backhand on that ball. So she's forced just to play a kind of a safer ball, and then what happens is Jennifer jumps on that next one with a lot more topspin.
I think Lily should start right off the receive, trying to jam a heavy cut.
Yeah, I would definitely back Jennifer off.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Don't wait and let Jennifer get to your middle.
look at Jennifer. I mean, that was a difficult net ball. And how quick she was getting into that, and then to get back out to just keep the rally.
Yeah, that's the mark of an unbelievable player, is when they can make a net ball like that look so easy.
There was no change in timing from her standpoint. She wasn't reacting to it. She just played it. And there's the nice Lily Zhang backhand loop off the
And
bounce.
you can even see Jennifer talking to herself a little bit. She missed her location a little bit on that cut.
Yeah. She knows it needed to be 2.5 inches more to the center. And you can see once Lily makes that ball deep out to the forehand, it's just going to make it that much more difficult for Jennifer to get over the ball. And again, Corey, playing with a 3-0 lead affords you the luxury of doing a lot of things that you would never be able to do if you were trailing in the match. She can risk deep pushes a lot easier. She can drop and take a step back. And there, nice combination there.
Like when Jennifer goes out to Lily's forehand, Lily should take that first ball down the line, because anytime she's going cross court to Jennifer's forehand with not a lot of spin,
it's coming right back down the line.
And fast.
Yeah. I mean, Jennifer's just waiting for it.
You've got to find a way to slow that ball down.
I mean, Corey, the one thing that I see what's happening in this match, it almost looks like Jennifer got a copy of Lily's playbook before the match and said this is what she's going to be doing, and then just stay patient, so when that ball comes there, you take your time and you execute, versus sometimes getting too eager when you see something transpiring and you just go all in. So right now, nice block in the middle by Lily. That's not an easy block. But again, Jennifer ready for the next ball. She's never overhit or knocked herself out of a point, even on the net balls.
Jennifer's opening looks a lot heavier than Lily's opening. And so Lily's having to play that first ball kind of slow, and that's what's given Jennifer the option of either taking the ball cross court or down the line. You can see Lily over there just kind of in agony. Like, what the heck do I do? And Jennifer getting her tactics from Bo's son. They're really close friends, and Bo's son has been in the U.S. for a long time, and they're training partners in New York.
Do or die right here. Jennifer with the serve and a commanding 3-0 lead and 5-2 here in game 4. And Corey, even after that great reloop by Lily, it didn't look like it phased Jennifer. She's like, okay, next point.
Yep.
Just not.
That's a lot of work to get just a point.
Jennifer's footwork has been
just
amazing. She stepped in so quick for that ball and got out. Wow. Great play by both players. Jennifer just staying up at the table, but Lily able to find. Again, Jennifer with the stronger forehand.
Just spraying the ball all over the table. Man, she's playing tough, Sean. She might be playing better than anybody in the building right now, man or woman.
And here we have 4 match points. And Jennifer Wu has taken out defending women's singles champion Lily Zhang in a very convincing 11-9, 5, 4, and 6 match here at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Man, and if I were at Jennifer's corner, Sean, I would ask if we could play the semifinals and the finals today, right now.
On table 1.
Because I don't know if she's going to put a better performance together than that. That's the only thing bad I would say about Jennifer right now is can she top that performance?
I mean, that was just a display of pure control, finesse, offense, you name it. She looked like she had everything going her way without any hesitancy or pressure from Lily, who I don't think played bad. She played the same tactics. But
yeah, that's the one thing I wish I would have saw
maybe
from Lily is
more of an adjustment after game 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear after losing at 9-5 that what you're doing is not working. And it would have been nice to see her maybe try stepping back from the table a little bit and trying to slow things down, but nothing she tried worked. And Jennifer Wu advances to the semifinals of the women's singles.
So we will be returning for a lot more action tomorrow. Men's quarters finals, the remaining women's quarterfinals. I want to thank my partner Corey Eider for joining us here in the booth. Continue to watch the live stream action. We'll continue to post the matches both on usatt.org as well as our YouTube channel. So join us for more action tomorrow morning from the Las Vegas Convention Center as we take a break from the live action right now.